beginning to say that the presidency is scared, or the president is scared of what's to come on the 1st of August. But I would like to get your thoughts on the planned protest. Let me start with you, Kake.
Okay, the right to protest is enshrined in our constitution, so is a right of the citizens to aid their opinion. First off, they're the ones that voted these people in to power, and both at the presidential level, governorship, and then we talk about the House of Assembly, House of Reps, and the Senate. Normally, the Senate and the House of Representatives were supposed to be the voice of the people because they represent represents them to the government, right? But anytime you see a protest like this, it goes to show that people are failing in their responsibilities, okay? Because normally what would have happened is the citizens pushing their ideas, pushing their wishes through their respective representatives to the government of the day so that they can look at it. But where they cannot achieve that through that medium, then they have to hit the streets and protest and let their voices be heard. So it's their right, and nobody should try to intimidate the citizens or try to call them to go in and not to do. I've seen a lot of press releases. I've seen from the DSS, I've seen SSS, I've seen police, I've seen the army, defense headquarters. I've even seen a letter from the Oba of Benin. I've also seen a threat from the Minister of FCT, and even a lot everywhere is just tensed concerning this protest. And I differ with Mr. Sowore on the hashtag is it Day of Rage. I differ on that. I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to a rage.
That seems violent.
Yes, I subscribe to a protest, a peaceful protest, but I don't subscribe to a rage, because once you say a day of rage, then criminal elements might take advantage and begin to wreak havoc. But as far as the protest is concerned, so far as it's going to be peaceful and the demands are clear, citizens should please hit the street and protest everywhere.
Okay, before Osilo comes in, I'd like to get your thoughts on that, Mr. Noah.
You see, the protest is long overdue, as my brother have said that it is enshrined in the constitution. I think before the Nigerians now want to hit the street, we have been protesting. Even most of us have been on aid, trying to provide solution. And like Osilo would say, trying to advise. We will advise and provide solution. And trying to things are not going the same way that it's supposed to go. We've heard a lot of press releases from the defense headquarters, a lot of them. But my concern is that the protest is faceless. I don't know why it is faceless, because of most of the protests were since I was born. I think I've witnessed Mamsa, I've witnessed a lot of protests. I've witnessed June Dola. I witnessed a lot of protests in the country since I was born. But most of them were not faceless. But what really bothered me in this protest is faceless. You cannot just point to who and who that is organizing the protest. That is why I am afraid that it might be hijacked by hoodlums. But you see, Nigeria is the only country that anything goes. If you listen to the news, what is happening, a lot of things is happening. If you listen to the level of suffering, if you listen how the leaders are not doing what they're supposed to do. The protest is always the last resort. That when the citizen has been pushed into the wall, they will protest. Now, looking at the issue of inflation, looking at the governors, I know virtually nothing is working. Let me borrow a word from Senator Dino Maleye. He said the only thing that is working in the country is only clock. I don't know how to treat it, but sometimes he has a point. But what really bothered me that most leaders, when they are outside, they will speak good of the government. They will do a lot of things, but when they are inside, they will not do what they're supposed to do. But I don't know what is wrong with the country. We have somebody that the former NLC chairman, the Comrade Adam Ashimole, the people gave him a mandate to be a governor. Well, I'm not from Edo State. I don't know how he did 8 years of his governor in the Edo State, and presently also in the Senate. Those are the people that are supposed to tell the government, please, you are not doing well, do it well. We have a lot of comrades, a lot of people that have been protesting. Even Mr. President is the chief protester here, because during the subsidy in 2012, I think in Lagos, Mr. President, President Bola Tinubu and Wale Soyinka and others, they were the one that led the protest in Lagos. So him coming to be the president, he should not be afraid of protest. But my concern, my fears are that we don't know who. The organizers of the protest is faceless. I have heard about the Denuga, the SSA to the Mr. President on media and publicity, accusing Peter Obi of organizing the protest. And I've seen a letter from a lawyer to Peter Obi suing Denuga that he is not the chief protester, that allegation is weighty, that they should go to court, that he has claimed about other 1 billion damages. I have heard from Falana a lot of our stakeholders, some in support, some in the middle. I have heard from Atiku Abubakar that is saying that he should allow Nigerians to protest. But my concern is at this point, the protest may lead to outbreak of law and order. But I am fully in support of protest, but it should be peaceful. And also, what I expect the government of the day should do, the government to see how they can address the demand of the protester, rather than trying to threaten those people that want to protest. Like we heard from the Minister of FCT that is saying that nobody should come to. No, you don't do that. You don't push the people to the corner. We heard from Uzodinma, that is the head of chairman pro APC Governors Forum, saying that you don't even know the demand of the protesters. So that is very bad of a leader. The protesters, even though they are faceless, they have come up with their demand, that the things are so hard that Nigerians are suffering, that until they saw Nigerian dead corpses around the street before they would do something. So I urge the federal government within this time and first, I think according to the report that we had in the media, that the protest is going to be from 1st August to 10, and I expect government within now and first, I think they should address it, rather than the few cups of rice I'm hearing that they have shared about 24,000 bags of rice to each state. I don't think that one is a measures. They should address the problem that we are having in the oil sector. Should address the problem of misgovernance. They should address the problem of stealing, of corruption. So that I think by doing that, I think before that first, the protester can back up to see that the government is sincere.
All right, without sounding any different, it's been enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that protests such as this is allowed. Now, Ikake, do you think the organizers of these protests have actually exploited the various avenues or chances or opinions or windows to curtail these? To soften these planned protests, or is it hasty?
I don't think it's hasty. It's more than a year since the fuel subsidy was removed, and since then Nigerians started complaining about hardship. 1 year is enough time if you want to measure patience, right? In a country such as Nigeria, we've endured the over 320 or 325% increase in the price of fuel, and of course inflation rate as it stands today is at 30 something percent, about 34%. So Nigerians have been enduring, they have been resilient. I said here some time ago that it seems we Nigerians, we have the fruit of the spirit called long suffering. And I think we have exhausted that, and we want something to be done. Because in the first place, the fear of God, the fear of the Lord, the Bible says to hate evil. And hate is a very strong emotion. It pushes you to want to stop something that is undesirable. So that's what Nigerians are trying to do. It's not hasty. It's timely, right? It's timely in the sense that the first time we had 500 and something billion or 500 billion being voted to tackle the impact of the fuel subsidy removal, yet nothing, let me not say nothing has been done. The impact has not been felt. We haven't seen the CNG buses, for example, in Akwa Ibom State. I said that about 7 cups of rice cannot suffice for 4.2 million people resident in Akwa Ibom. NBS had said that over 72% of people resident in Akwa Ibom are multidimensionally poor, meaning about 5.150 million people in Akwa Ibom State are poor, which means that this rise, about 48,000 when combined with what the state government wants to add, cannot even suffice to ameliorate the suffering of the people. We could have had buses running the street, we could have had money injected into agriculture, we could have had money injected into the MSMEs so that we can stimulate the economy, yet this was not done. In the midst of all of this, we've also seen government officials still flaunting wealth. Okay, we've seen the amount of money being sent to Senate, and the House of Reps to refurnish their offices. So in this case, inanimate items like chairs and all of that becomes more important than the well-being, the lives and the well-being of the citizens. Insecurity is still on the rampage. When we talk about the issues, the peculiar issue of the Southeast, when you talk about the North, farmers cannot access their farms and all of that, which is why we have the increase in food prices. So governments have not done much to assuage the anger, the suffering, the turmoil, the worries of the people. As such, the protest is timely, it is not hasty, it is something that the government should have expected long ago. For us to stay till about a year shows that Nigerians are really, really resilient. Again, I'm saying that I do not subscribe to the hashtag days of rage, but I subscribe to a peaceful protest that hinges on specific demands and that will stay through until those demands are met. And Nigerians should not be caught into submission, into running away, into saying no, throwing in the towel and saying we are not doing it again. They should stand strong because they have a constitutional backup to protest. However, there shouldn't be violence.
Interesting. All right, Mr. Noah, the government has been pleading with Nigerians to relax, to give them some more time, and even the lawmakers have said that they are going to dialogue with the leaders of the protest, which is quite laughable because this protest seems to be like NSAS, where there were no leaders, there were no heads of the protest. People, the angry Nigerians just went on the streets to protest. Do you think that this is more than dialogue or some appeals? This is going to extend more than that, or this needs more than dialogue or appeals?
You see, at this point, I see a very sincere government will be proactive rather than reactive. At that point of pleading and dialogue, for me, I think it's reactive governance, which is not acceptable now. Now, you see, President Tinubu took over. I will always say that the economy that was in life support, and the whole issue started when Mr. President said subsidy is gone, and already it's as if the man that is in the hospital having all manner of sickness, and suddenly you came and now cut his neck. Before you know, that man will die. That was the economy of Nigeria, how it is. Now, but the problem that President Tinubu had that before he said subsidy is gone, he's supposed to put some safety net, but he did not do it. And for the past 1 year, there are a lot of things that he's supposed to do. He has not done it. And for example, the Senate here in this country, I think we have been talking since last year. I don't know, you, Sharon, can attest to it, and my brother Yaki, that they will say that I am not comfortable, that I don't believe that the refinery will work. I even brought a letter from President Obasanjo that he wrote, Mr. President, that the refinery will not work. And you were pessimistic, you were very optimistic. I said, yes, I know I'm not that pessimistic, but the way things, I don't think the thing will work. And presently, within 1 year, Dangote refinery was to work by October. They now shift it to December, now keeping shifting it till now. They are shifting it till now to the saga that we find ourselves. Now, for the past 10 years or so, we have spent from report over 15 trillion trying to revamp the 4 early refinery that we have. I say those refineries are moribund, those are old-fashioned, that it cannot work. Now, we find ourselves in where we are now. Now, I expected the National Assembly to see how they can fix the economy of the country. I expected Mr. President, those people that are calling for those protesters to back down, They should have done this see how they can build capacity, because the advanced countries said, even America, that if you want to reflect the economy, you have to do two major things. What are the two major things? First, you build capacity. Secondly, you stimulate the economy. And the question is, before you do that, there are some structure that need to be in place. What are the structure? Presently now, most of the communities in some part of the country have been occupied by bandits and Boko Haram and insurgents. The government is not doing anything about it. And if you don't tackle insecurity, there's no way you can have food sufficiency. There's no way that our farmers will go back to their farm. And when our farmers don't go back to farm, you going to have food insecurity, that what we are having now, and it's going to be inflation. Presently now, the food inflation is about 42 to 43%, and it still keep rising. And how did you feel that Nigeria can even sit back and watch such country? Now, looking forward to capacity, they have doing the budget that they are going to stimulate the economy. Some billions of naira were budgeted through the humanitarian ministry. We heard about the former minister now diverting the money. The money was not utilized. The money was not given to the SMEs. The money was misappropriated. Now, how did you feel that Nigeria will still stay and watch? We saw about the National Assembly. They came into the government. They saw that they have inherited a life support or economy, but they still go back, and they still requested for a 200 million naira SUVs. I'm not saying that they should not request for that. They should take to their work, but most of them have, and they should have. As Nigerians, Mr. President is telling Nigerians to have patience. I expected by this time also the National Assembly members also should be patient. Not only in Nigeria, because if you are still pleading with Nigeria, you also need to do sacrifice, because one thing for nation building, it is a sacrifice of all. Not only sacrifice in a poor man in my village, not only my own sacrifice, not only the man that is riding keke, that is when he ride keke, he now use the whole money to buy PMS. Those are not the people to do sacrifice. The leaders also must do sacrifice. We saw what happened in the US. See what Biden has done. Biden, there was an argument that is held that he will not be able to do second term. But he's doing the towel. How many leaders in Nigeria can do that? We saw what happened in others advanced countries. When there is a rage, when there is a protest, when there is an argument, the leader will throw in towel for the sake of the country. I was here a few months ago, and I said that I am not comfortable with the Lagos coastal rail. I'm not saying that project is not good, but we have east-west road. We have our road that we should fix the road network in the country. That how will you now mop up 15 trillion in economy for 8 years? Wow, how about other areas of priority? I was vindicated a few days ago when the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, came up to say that they don't have money to fund any project. That they can only fund projects that are abandoned projects that are about 80%. That they can only complete it, but any other project there's no money, because they cannot budget 500 billion for project, whereby they had about 5 trillion of project to complete. How are they going to use the money for? And I was vindicated, because the issue is our leaders keep on prioritizing recurring expenditure rather than capital expenditure, and they are not prioritizing the welfare of Nigerians. Look at what we have about unemployment. Most of the youth are going the street without job. The government should do something about that, but they keep on moving from 1 step forward and 5 steps backward. And we came into the Mr. President Tribunal came up again and still do the same thing that the past administration was doing. There's a saying that goes, you cannot do things the same way and expect different results. There is no way that we will have different results if we don't do things differently. But I'm not putting the blame only on Mr. President, even though John C. Maxwell have said that everything rises and falls in leadership. But the responsibility of moving Nigeria to where it's supposed to be, from a developing nation to a developed nation, is a responsibility of all the National Assembly members, the civil servant, the artisan. But the problem we are having now is that how will a country grow without power? There's no way we can grow without power. How will a country grow that the government has not subsidized anything? Everything the Nigeria has been paid for. There's no conducive environment for business to thrive. Already we have a very selling market. We have a market that is very welcoming, which is the population. But we are not utilizing it because of the government government is not providing enabling environment for business to strive. That's why multinational are now packing up. And when they are, as they are packing up, they are seeing more pressure on the government. And presently, the government is sitting in a fixed position. I don't know how they are going to get out of the wood. I pray that the restructuring that is going on from the local government autonomy, financial autonomy, I pray it should be properly implemented. Thank God for yesterday that the Minister of Finance was just saying that it is hard to implement. I pray that God should give him the wisdom to say I can implement the financial autonomy, and also every other reform, the regional government, which I am in support, because there's a lot of pressure, and they should visit fact the 52, 26 and 20% of our farm. How many people are living in Abuja? What are they doing with the 52%? I think the 52% is because is the reason why everybody is now rushing to Abuja. All the people want to become a senator. Everybody want to become a minister. So they're going to have, they go there with their knife to go and cut the share in that 52%. But by the time that 52% is being visited, maybe they can have 30%, and most the other percentage can go to the state and the local government level, so that people will remain in the local government and see how can fix the economy. Presently now, the aim of any government is to provide security and welfare, but presently the government has felt there is no welfare and there is no security, so you cannot stop the citizen. It happened in Tunisia. It was unemployed graduate that staged the protest in Tunisia. It happened also in advanced countries, even this Somalia and others, Sudan. It was the same thing that happened. And by the time those people are being pushed to the wall, the citizen will react, and there's no way you can do it. Even if you have a family, by the time you don't treat your wife very well, whether you have 3 children, don't treat them very well, it will be a point you will just come back to them. Even if you be army man with God, your children will just say, Daddy, you are not going to end outside with your wife until this is going to be addressed. So that is the point that we have in the country today. The citizens have reacted, and by this point, we are urging the federal government, we are urging the stakeholders, we are urging the National Assembly members, we are urging the governors, because yesterday I saw a video that governors were running to Aso Rock, and I said these are not issues to running cat and rat race. Why don't you run easy for good governance? So I urge also the NLC, as they have gotten the 70,000 minimum wage, they should also go on strike to say, government, we want refinery. The saga that we are hearing from the problem, we want these people to be sacked. We want this to be done. We want this to be done. We want the inflation to come down. We want insecurity. We are striking that government should tackle insecurity. Not only that, when they, after 3 years or 4 years, they now go back to the strike. When they get their own, they come back and they leave other vulnerable Nigeria in a very bad state.
All right, you made mention of security, Donald. And we are actually looking at the role of the armed forces in this perspective. Well, according to the armed forces, potential targets include places of worship, businesses, markets, business persons of other ethnic groups, members of opposing political parties, and of course, it says, based on the foregoing, the level of the violence envisaged is best described as a state of anarchy. And they're saying that they want cool heads to prevail for a possible remedy to the situation, as well as make the Nigerian situation or state flourish again. Now, Ikake, let's talk about the role of the military or the armed forces in this perspective, considering the protests. What do you expect them?
I think they are intermediary. This is a civil issue. Protest is a civil issue. It's not a military issue. For now, the process has not been militarized by the citizens. We don't have, it's not a militant process.
So we don't expect casualties.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a militant process.
It's not a war.
It's not a war, it's a civil process. So for that reason, the military shouldn't interfere with what's currently happening until you discover that there are maybe insurgents kind of that is trying to upturn, the state, right? Then you can then perceive a threat, all right? Then the military can come in to intervene to stop that. But for them to issue a warning in advance, they are preempting the process. It's a form of subtle intimidation, all right? It's a form of trying to push back and tell the citizens, look, you cannot protest, but we have to protest. The citizens have to protest. However, it must be peaceful. Like I said, I differ with the hashtag Days of Rage. It connotes violence. But for the protest, it is clear that Nigerians, the voices of Nigerians must be heard. We have to speak up and speak out. We have to stand up to the government we elected and tell them our demands, tell them the areas of our pains, and let them know what we expect of them, and where those demands are being attended to, then the protest has achieved its objective. So the military should not interfere in the process. However, they should be watching on the sideline to see if there is going to be any issues surrounding the upturning of the state. Then they can quickly step in and intervene.
I was going to ask you about this military thing, because right after the issuance of that letter, what we started hearing was the military should, mind what it's supposed to do, mind its business. It's supposed to protect our territorial integrity, and here it is meddling in civil affairs, as you called it. But then there are also warnings from security officials, like recently, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, when the DSS said that, hey, we have intelligence that this protest is going to be hijacked by hoodlums. Now, don't you think that it is wiser, or it's better for them to go after the hoodlums, that if they have intelligence, they know that the hoodlums are going to come, instead of telling people to stay at home and not come out for a protest?
Yeah, so now the since they have come out to the public and then they have published their intelligence, no man intelligence.
In the public domain. The intelligence in the public domain.
It's normal, because if you should be doing your underworking silently and quietly. Try to see, okay, this protest, are there possibilities of a hijack, and if there are, it's going to be coming from where, and you now go to the target and try to pick those targets that you suspect are going to cause problem or mayhem in the process. But for you to say you've gathered intelligence that this is going to happen, and for that reason there shouldn't be protests, it doesn't make no sense, right? So you should rather target those places, those people, and then take them and maybe arrest them or something, and allow the peaceful protest to continue. But when you come to the public and begin to make pronouncement, you are preempting the process. You are even advancing the citizens that there might be a possible mayhem. Who knows who is going to cause that mayhem? Because it just seems like a situation of naming a dog and killing it.
All right, we can name a dog and kill it here. That is Memories 96.5 FM, and we're discussing Melting Point, looking at the state of the nation. Now, Donald, my friend, let's look at this angle of it. Now, for now, no group has identified with these protesters, and organizers have remained largely anonymous, as no group has actually come to take responsibility. And of course, in the Nigerian constitution, I think it is enshrined that a group should identify with such protests. Now, what are your fears?
Yes, I have. That's why I have said that I have a lot of fears. And now let's go in terms of security. See, sometimes I wait in my heart. I say, is it our so-called security service did not go training in abroad? Because they used to go to training abroad. Okay, take for example like the case story when the shooting, the attempted assassination of Trump, and we had the reaction of the President Biden, Joe Biden. Joe Biden said that he was not come. That is, he pleaded that he was not comfortable with the shooting, and he discouraged it, and he said it's unacceptable. And he now ordered the Secret Service and independent investigators in the matter that they should come up with a report. And within that few days, we saw that the Congress have accused Chittle, that is the director of Secret Service, that they are not comfortable with him, that he will not be able to supervise the investigation, that he should resign. What am I trying to say? We have an intelligence report. If it is true, why did they come to publish the intelligence report? The protest we saw protest even in America. Even there's a protest just go on in the UK about the health sector. We expect the security agent, whether the army, they should protect this national asset. They should protect this so-called flashpoints, because what they are saying, I'm not trying to disabuse, I'm not trying to discountenance what they say, because What happened in NSAS in Cross River? The NSAS got peaceful in Enquiry and said there was not too much of destruction, but in Calabar it was not. It was different. Most of the houses, the former senator, Senate minority leader Victor Ndomegba was rumbled, was raised, conference center, palliative hall, and a lot of issues. A lot of government assets were attacked. Now, if it is true that there is an intelligence report, why don't you give those areas, those flashpoints security, and allow the protests to go on? Now, the issue of saying it is faceless, maybe the people that are organizing feel that because if anything happened, they will be arrested. We had protests in advanced country, we had protests in everywhere, but I think between now and first, I think it will be unfair because even the NSAS protests, some people were accusing Yahoo boys, some people were accusing bloggers, some people were accusing some certain people, but I know some people still claim responsibility. But I am not comfortable with him being faceless because one, you see, we in political science there are so many areas of settling conflict. One of the last one is a conflict model. Now the leaders have, whether consciously or unconsciously, pushed Nigerians to now using conflict model, which is protest. And some people will say that that's not the only protest. Even we, most of the people that have all contrary opinion or trying to suggest solution. Because one thing I see in the government of the country is that when you tell them the truth, you become their enemy. It's very, very unfortunate that everybody they just came out from when they come out from Aso Rock or government establishment or National Assembly, they will see black, they will tell you it's white, and they want everybody to accept the thing is white. And when you say the thing is black, and you try to prove why the thing is black, they will now call you contrary and we are in no position. But at this point, that is not how to run the country. We saw what happened in advanced country. Critics is ingredient in a democracy. They help to reset, they help to put the government of the day in foot to do the right thing. But by the time you don't have critics, you just be driving. It's like a drunken driver that there is no somebody that is maybe road safety, there is no road sign, you just driving like that. It just to end, you end in fiasco. But I don't know how the thing is faceless. Maybe because they are afraid of arrest and others intimidation. And that thing between now and first, the protesters or the organizers choose somebody, or a group should take responsibility for it, and so that government also will also address their demand, because it is faceless. I have heard from some chieftain. Even I read something from the National Secretary of the All Progressive Congress trying to say that it is opposition that is trying to bring down the government of President Tinubu. I am an analyst. I'm not against the government of President Tinubu. I am in support of his government. But what we are advocating is, please give us good governance. There is hardship in the country. There is a few months ago, the minister of finance came up to say that it's only 10% of Nigerians that have 500,000 and above in their account. Imagine that. And most of the Nigerians are poor. Presently, we have two classes of people. If you are not very rich, you are vulnerable, because there's nothing like poor. Almost everybody is vulnerable, because even if you have 500,000 in your account without another money coming in, because I was asking my friend who is a banker, I said, how did the minister of finance came up with this study? He said that before he came up with the study, that somebody that have 500,000 in his account 500,000 must be fixed. That's another money came, he has 500,000 already in his account, maybe for like 1 year. That's a man that says he has 500,000, not somebody that have 500,000 in his account. Before 2 days, the money he has used it and finished. Before you know, you'll be struggling to have another one. No, that's not people that they are calculating. Now, at this point, sometimes I don't know the class that I belong. Whether I am vulnerable, whether I am very poor, whether I am average. So they should see how we can bring in the average class. Because without bringing the average class, there's no way the country can move. Why the people are running to Canada? Why are people running to advanced country? Most of those people are just average people. They are very poor. They are only rich in the country whereby we have the dollars about 150, 1,500 or 1,600. When they do all the media job and come back to the country, they become rich. But in advanced country, you are just an average person. Because of why? In advanced country, whether you have the money or you don't, or maybe the money is coming to your account, but as far as you are working class, you can just move to any gas station and slot in your credit card. Whether there's no money, they will fill gas for you and debit your card. When the money comes, they take the money. I think we should go back to establish those agencies. I let me say President Tinubu was trying to fix it. I don't know how sincere they are going to do it. This is where they can fix those middle class so that then the country can move. But there's no way. But there's nothing they would do. Whether they use on the first, even though they carry the whole army and they litter the whole street, Nigerians will still react because the country is sad. There is hardship, there is hunger. Presently now, there is a lot of out of school children. The Jamari, what do you call it? That's beggars. Amajiris. They are increasing every day. Insecurity is increasing, and most of the problem of insecurity is as a result of hardship. A lot of child trafficking. Most of these vices is caused by hardship. So the country, the leader need to go back to the drawing board and to see where they can fix the economy. Without that, even if they abort this protest, before you know, Nigeria will just occupy the street, and it will not be. It's not going to be a very welcome development.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, let's open the phone lines. I hear from the listener 0803 085 7755 0803 085 7755 or 0809 066 6909. We're streaming live on Facebook. The handle is Memories965FM, or you could drop a message on our WhatsApp platform, and the number is 0809 066 6909. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Yeah, we can hear you. Good morning to you, Akman.
Okay. Good morning, fellow.
Yes, good morning, Akman.
Yeah, good morning again.
Good morning.
I'm calling from you. This is a very important discussion. Let us advance. Are Nigerians hungry? Yes, of course. Are the leaders showing concern to the plight of the Nigerians? The answer is no. When Labour talked about strike, they had an agreement. How many of those agreements have been fulfilled? Some of these governors gave 10,000 naira to their workers. Some did not give. When in fact, 10,000 cannot prepare a quarter. So, what I'm trying to say in effect is that the citizens are being neglected by their leaders. So, in order to cut the matter short, the government has 4.2. Are they going to that? No, because we don't know the consequences. So, between now and 1st of August, they should do everything possible because they are creating the problem. We want to devalue the naira. You bring in subsidy. If you bring increase in fuel price, you bring in hardship. And at the same time, they are talking of a solution and solving the problem. You see, they are too contradicting gains. So they should stop on emergency. Bring some technocrats who will sit down and discuss how Nigeria can move forward. As of now, I don't think they have any solution to the problem. And let us not express a violent protest because it will not come well. Thank you.
Thank you, Akpan. All right, we'll be taking up more calls. 0803 085 7755. Okay, we have another one. Udo.
Hello? Yeah, Apostle.
No, it's Udo. Yeah, good morning to you, Udo.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
My people, I want to say that the government, if they have never been proactive, it is now supposed to be. Because I'm also in support of the topic of that protest. They should do something that will make people to see that the suffering will not continue. And because I want to say that there is no proper enlightenment to those who want to go out for this protest to start with. And as Shadon said, it is proper that certain group, certain organizations, out and say, I am the one that is driving this protest, so that when anything happens, then the group will be held responsible. Because we know that there are so many people who will not go out there because of just protest. And the people should be enlightened to know that when they are going out there, they are not just going out to protest against the government, protest against people that are causing things to go wrong way in Nigeria. For instance, those who, when you are given the opportunity like this to go out for that protest, you go and embezzle people's ideas. You go and kill people. You go and expose yourself to bullets. They have to enlighten these people, because somebody will just say, "I'm just drunk. What is good again? I am not even eating." And go there to play with the.
Wrap up. We have to take other calls.
Yes, I want to say that they must enlighten the people very, very well before they go out for any protest, as things are going on now. And most importantly, let everybody know that you have to do what is right, whether you are a leader or a citizen. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Udo.
Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Asuko. I'm calling from you.
Welcome, Asuko.
Thank you. The last caller I've already said everything I wanted to say, but all I want to add is that whether federal government like it or not, it should allow us to go for the protest. I personally believe go for the protest also.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your solidarity. Can I take a WhatsApp message? We got one here.
Very quick, Apostle. After Apostle's call, you take WhatsApp.
Yes.
Good morning, Apostle.
Good morning, Apostle.
I'm very happy to communicate for you. It's Apostle Kingsley John Princeway, right? Calling from Atlanta, here in New York. According to the word I received from you people in the studio there, about a minute like I said that his opposition party are trying to put protest in the nation today. Please, before they will say there was protest before we grew up to this stage. I remember when Papa must go, it was protest. I remember June 93, after the riot, there was a protest at Lagos in all over the nation of this Nigeria. Protest did not start today, and it's something that brings protest. Many people are speaking because maybe they have one senator or minister or house member that has been supporting them. They don't pass through difficulties. That's why they may speak whatever they like say, they don't feel the pain. I fix my mind, I have nothing to fear. We are in democracy, understand me. Please listen. See, things have been just our expectation. Things are not going well the way people were thinking. We fought for people that they will bring us good things. But today, things are not working well. We have the freedom of assembly that's practiced in the Constitution. And they should allow. I hear that they will send army and police. Let the army and police come in. It's a welcome one that is to help so that there will not be a violence. But about the protest, protests have been already taken place. Now that there's people who are agents or who sponsor or who are not sponsor. Everybody are feeling the pain. If somebody who doesn't feel the pain, it's someone in the graveyard.
All right, thank you, Apostle.
They may increase it to 700 naira. Please, the people know how they speak to people, not to discourage people. We are people over that. But then in South Africa, fast for 7 years to make South Africa what it is today. And we in Nigeria, we need to stand up from our, wake up from our slumber and make for our rights. If not so, they are still taking us backward.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They will show you black. If you get that black, they will interpret it in the way you are.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We thank you sincerely. We thank you. Thanks for your concern. It's Melting Point on Memories 96.5 FM, and we're looking at the planned protests by the Nigerian youths. Now let's come to a WhatsApp message from Brother John. Brother John says, good morning to you all. It's unfortunate that the policies of both the federal and state governments have caused a great havoc on the Nigerian economy. The mode of selecting candidates is another issue because today, most of those elected into offices never attended a debate for the people to hear their views, but use the back door to become where they are, leading to extreme hardship and inflation ravaging Nigeria without creating a conducive environment where power supply is steady. Again, technology advancement is tackling insecurity, lacking poor intelligence, poor productivity, poor intelligence rather than from security agencies that have made the Nigerian economy worse in history. Brother John, thank you for your observations.
Is that another one also?
Okay, there's someone here, just sent in one here. Let's see. Greetings, press members and your distinguished and unbiased panelists. Peaceful protest is constitutional, hence I endorsed the protest. Thanks, Bob Godwin in Uyo downtown. Thank you very much for that contribution. And let's see if we can have a call here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, this is Savannah Daniel Istinoboro.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you so very much. Let me start by saying that this protest is influenced by hunger, of course, pain, and worsening value of our naira situation. You get money to the market, you have to buy items you used to buy with a little money. So, for the government or certain people from the presidency contributing it to opposition, that will announce to giving a dog a bad name in order to kill it. You see, Nigerians are craving for leadership by example, and when that fails, it's another thing entirely. Furthermore, the protest is influenced by what is happening presently in Kenya. Kenya started their own protest, and Nigeria looked into what is going on there. And Nigeria being a country that is much more intense than those countries, that East African country, decided no, the hardship is too much. When you push a person to the wall,
Kindly wrap up with this.
He bounced back with protest. Thank you for having me. But what I would advise is that the protest should be peaceful. Nobody should go and spoil some other person's property or government facilities. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. All right, let's head into the studio. Let's head back into the studio to get the views of the analysts in the studio. We have about 2 minutes left, so we'll take 1 minute each from both of you.
Okay, let me quickly react on it. Thank you, Akwana always give a very good opinion. But let me react to one of the caller that said that I think the press, the foreign, they need to step up, because I'm saying that if the leaders presently there's a recruitment, there's a selection in a local government administration in Enquiry. So I think the press that should do something should be calling these people, the councillors, the 31 local government chairman, and about 300, about 68 councillors to come, and they should come and tell the people what are the vision, what did they know, what are they going to do? Because the problem we are having is the issue of selection and recruitment, and people are going to public office to steal money. You heard about the local government election. Immediately the autonomy was announced, we heard about a sitting commissioner resigning to go and contest for local government. People want, and we asked them, what are you going for this? He said, because there's a financial autonomy.
Right,
what are you going to do with them? And so I think we should be inviting these people to come and face the panel, face the camera, tell your people what you want, so that when you aid, they will not bring that your maybe your
so
manifesto,
thank you very
and
much.
let you know. Thank you.
Okay, I think that Nigeria can do better if we want to do better. We have the population, we have the number, we have the intellectual capacity, and of course the president started well by saying he wants to remove subsidy, but what he didn't do was to ensure that he puts up strategy in place to be able to, curb the impact of the subsidy removal. So our government, our leaders needs to learn that for a strategy to work effectively, it has to communicate, it has to coordinate, and it has to concentrate. And next, you want to come up with a policy. You need to think through it and think with the lenses of the people.
Right.
But for the protest, it should be without violence.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you so much, Mr. Donald Noah and Mr. Takebasi, for your time here. Thank you, and have a lovely
Always
weekend.
a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for listening to The Melting Point on Memories 96.5 FM. Stay tuned, the scorecard will be coming your way in a few minutes. My name is Sharon Mandor.
Alright, if you've chosen to join the protesters, be sure you play by the rules, and thank you very much for being a Nigerian. I am a Nigerian, my name is Anifio. Okay, well, good morning.